Autism is a different way of experiencing and understanding the world that we live in as we know it. It shapes the way a person communicates, what they feel, their connection with others, all is impacted when you are labelled with autism. I think that's the simplest way I can explain what it is. Being a parent of an autistic child, to begin with, is quite scary. It's the fear of the unknown, and it's a roller coaster of emotions because you just don't know, right? And one of the main reasons why I think we felt overwhelmed was because I didn't even know what autism was. I had never heard of it. So to be told your child is on the spectrum was a shock to the system, and of course a bit lost because what do we do? So what started off to be very scary, a very dark place. The first thing what we did was to learn about autism, educate ourselves, what it was, what it's all about, where in this do we stand. And it's a spectrum, a very wide spectrum, and where was my son in that? So it was all these questions we had, and there's no answer because it's a journey, and you begin and you start learning, and there's a lot of information out there, and it's about finding a sort of starting point and then moving forward, and that's what we did. We found a starting point. As I said earlier, to begin with, it was scary, but as time has progressed, we've taken sort of the route of positivity and to look at the wins, because when you look at my child, he is an individual, he has his own personality, he is witty, he's got a great sense of humour. And instead of drowning ourselves in the label that he's autistic, for us, it's our son. Yes, he views the world a bit differently, but it's not that there's nothing within him. The best way I can describe this is there's two worlds. There's the autistic world, and there's the world that as we know it. Now, as a parent, we are entering the world of autism and the way they think, the way my child views the world, and the way he experiences life. And then we bring that back to the real world. And what we try to do with that bridge, we try to connect the two together. And that's the hard bit. So when we're left with our child and it's just him and us, it's brilliant. We have all the fun, and we'll experience this. But when it comes to him understanding what's going on, his behaviours, for example, how he should be responding, how we expect him to do, that's where things get a bit tricky. But then it's something we've embraced. It's not stopped us from doing anything. In fact, it's a challenge accepted kind of a mindset. And we do everything with him. In fact, he teaches us now rather than we teach him. And I'm so proud of being a parent of an autistic child. If it was up to me, I'd shout at the top of the mountain, like, guys, look, this is not that scary place that I thought it was going to be. Life hasn't stopped. In fact, we've moved. It's reshaped the way we think and view life. Life isn't about A, B, C. It can be the other way around, and that's okay. IDX, Investis, came along pretty much at the same time I was told about my son. And so there was one thing that I knew that I needed to do if I was going to be a good mum or good at this challenge. I needed to be a part of something else, and that was work for me. And I was fortunate to find Investis. At the time, it was Investis. and I've never looked back. I can honestly say we've grown together, developed together, and this is not me and my son, this is me and Investis. So my role at Investis, to where it started off to where I am today, Investis to IDX, it's been a journey, and the support I've received throughout that has been constant. Even amongst the changes we've had, the colleagues, my managers, the people I work with have always been there, and it's enabled me to be 100% present at my role. I've not had to choose between being a good mum, an advocate for my son, and be present at my work. The fact that I work across 3 different continents, so many different time zones, so many different types of people, and whether that's clients, whether it's the colleagues that you work with, and some I've been working with for 12 plus years, some have just come in, and it's a skill that you take home actually. So the skill set that I use within my work, I take home, and then I use that skill set to advocate for my son, because when it comes to my son, it's not just me and him. I have to then go out and speak to the LEA. What's an LEA? The Local Education Authority. We're in the school office speaking to the head teacher. So, the people skills that you pick up at work, it works both ways. And that can-do attitude. So when I'm sat at a table and people say to me, your son is on the spectrum, so we're facing these issues, my question always is now, what are we going to do about it? And that's what I bring to my work as well. So we're faced with challenges all the time, and my question is, how can we overcome these challenges? What are we going to do about it? And we move forward.